We're not going to comment about people joining political parties because we fought for the freedom of everyone to express themselves. We are not involved in whoever chose to join whatever political party, because we will now have to account whoever was a judge before joined the political party, whoever was a prosecutor joined the political party. We can't. We are not a party of hypocrites. We fought for democracy, and we pride ourselves under the ANC government that this state that we lead and this government is the most democratic government you can ever see in the world. Most democratic government, yeah. So whoever joined the political parties within their right, it's in politics, will meet them as opposition. We as the ruling party, the African National Congress. So we're not going to, we are not worried by that. Ministers have been called and will be called from time to time to account on the banning platforms. We have dealt in this NEC with a challenge of water and sanitation. We got a comprehensive report about the work our government is doing. We're no longer theorizing. It's like asking a person for a ride in a bus, and you ask when you enter into a bus, where are you going? When it is written, it's going to Randfontein. It's all clear to us what are the issues that our people need and ANC need to accelerate. We've provided basic services for years and sanitation. As the population grows, these challenges also increase. New settlements emerges. And we might have defeated bucket system, but it is back with us in certain areas because there are new settlements. So as the needs and the society increases according to census, the demand side also increases in terms of social needs of our people. So the ANC has prioritized that. So we call ministers, we call the Minister of Water and Sanitation to give us progress. Is there a crisis of water? We are encouraged by the reports there is no crisis. There have been glitches and interruptions in the rollout of water in the different communities. And it has affected a number of communities in Johannesburg here as well. So, but all of those issues are being attended to. That include as well sanitation. We have also received reports in relation to matters that are related to SOEs, and I've given a report already on that with regard to Minister Pravin Gordhan. Pravin Gordhan as a minister of the ANC is not feared. No other minister is feared by the ANC. That is why we call ministers, they give account. We don't change ministers as and when it has to happen. We are focused now on delivery. We are left with a couple of months. This government, in terms of its time and all of that, will be over. We have raised our issues in relation to stability. In terms of SOEs, we've got full commitment from our ministers and from the president that these matters are attended to, they will be resolved. In the next meeting of the NWC, there will be progress. We're no longer playing where people repeat themselves, give long philosophical account about the state of affairs. We want progress. If you say to us, like Cindy will do, trains are moving, we are recovering the lines, vandalism we are fighting, we are bringing security. That's the report people want. That trains in Mabopane are working. Trains in KwaZulu-Natal are coming up. Vandalized facilities in terms of train stations are being fixed. That's the report we want. And I saw that there was a report by one journalist that said that I apologized. I didn't apologize to anyone in the NEC. And you are correct about the fact that I was addressing a matter which could have given an impression that we are pitting ministers against each other in how we presented the matter. Comrades understood, because we shouldn't do that. But we are very hard. We are hard on delivery, and it's non-negotiable. Running government and replacing people will account to nothing if you understand how government works. Budgets have passed. Ministers and their DGs must ensure that they get to be implemented. The next financial year will be in April, probably in the middle of the campaign. So if you change somebody now, it's like really changing socks for nothing. You know, the people who are implementing the programs of the state, it is the machinery that is there now, ensuring through parliament and everything else that the things that the ANC have committed that it will do, it really does meet those things. As we call ministers, which is something that is not done, we have started doing it now. We are asking them reports about how far are you, Cindy, with trains. She's doing a marvelous job. It is clear Razbataz was there. You know, she's doing a fantastic job. You yourself can account to that. Cindy, the Minister of Transport, doing a fantastic job. Trains are coming back. Programs are being implemented with the provinces in terms of addressing the challenges of potholes and all of that. That is happening. It's not propaganda. That's what is happening. Operation Valazonga is in full swing. It's happening throughout the country. It's been implemented. When we call Senzo, he gave us not philosophy. Now, you know Mzimvubu Dam in the Eastern Cape. That project was stalled for many years. It's now back on track. Money allocated. Mzimvubu Dam is back on track. And that is the work that has actually been done. We speak to our Minister of Police. We say we want action with regard to Zamazamas. That action must be felt in our communities. Even if it means we must bring soldiers and all of that, these Zamazamas must be dealt with. We encourage. Operation Chanela is in full swing. It's not true that police are doing nothing about the scourge of heist. Police have been in direct danger and confrontation with these criminals who are doing cash heist and so on. And police have emerged and stamped the authority. And that is the sort of authority we are seeing. But fighting crime cannot be the task of the police alone. We have said to our structures, as we talk to our communities, they too must come to the party and work alongside the police. But through our own efforts of mass mobilization, street committees, and all of that. And some of the communities are doing a good job in relation to that. Ministers are being evaluated. Ministers will be evaluated. Ministers, after the list has been finalized, as the ANC win government, when we come back, there will be proper analysis of the performance of people. At the present moment, we are not only putting pressure, we are holding our government accountable in terms of delivery. And that's what we're doing. You look at our agenda, zilch, squabble. We fight about delivery. We fight among ourselves fiercely, robustly about delivery. We tell ministers where to get off. So there was no apology. It's a question of matter being raised and giving an impression that how I wish these people who give you reports in the dark, you can sometimes come to me because I keep the records, you know. They give you reports and all of that about us, but I can tell you from Saturday, jam-packed, all our meetings, you can check them. Our meetings since we came into office, there's been change, even if I have to say it. It has been about service delivery. That's what we've been fighting about. Even if I have to quarrel with the president as the SG at Luthuli House, I will, around service delivery. That president, here we are not moving, here we are moving, and all of that. And the center must hold in government. We're not micromanaging government. Our agenda has changed. It's about service delivery. We call ministers, no philosophy. 30 municipalities, Tembi, You have identified them. These are the interventions we said you will undertake in these municipalities. Give us the report. How far are you? We don't want to deploy who is where and all of that. How far are you? That is the report we want. And then Lindizulu, social grants. What happened? Glitches. Explain. Post bank. No. ANC, the issue is resolved. Montli Gumugubele tells us that the matter is resolved. About 500,000 people did not get they were affected by these glitches. And he tells us as the NEC that matter is resolved. We said, you say it's resolved? He said, yes, it's resolved. And we gave you these ministers. As they come to the NEC, we asked them to brief the media. Not propaganda, because when you deal with service delivery, you can't afford to lie. Because if you say trains are running, the people of Naledi are going to say you're lying. You are just sitting there the whole weekend convincing yourself and making you feel good among yourselves. These things are not happening on the ground. As the ANC, as we go around with the report back, I address the people. I say 350, they say, yay, that thing is no longer coming. And then I ask the ministers, what's happening? They explain. Like they have explained this past weekend to us, 350, what is happening? It is still being rolled out, but there were double people who were receiving this thing. You are receiving a grant on the other side, and then on the other side, the terms and conditions of this 350 is that it must go to somebody who doesn't have anything. But if you start having 2,000 every month in your account, then the 350 stops. Because 350 is meant for people who don't have. So once you start having 600 every month, they look at your account, then they stop it. So we then understand the dynamics of how these things happen on the ground. As and when we visit communities, we talk to communities, we engage with communities, we then get what are the defects in terms of service delivery and so on. So you have delivered the roads, but that road you delivered is gone. And then you've got to check on that against the work that is being done on the ground. So ministers are being held accountable. There's nobody who does as they wish. We want the answers. You are asking questions to the ANC. We must provide answers. If there is chaos at Transnet, who must account? The minister is the Minister of Public Enterprise. And public enterprise in the long term, in terms of what the president said, was that is going to diminish. But it must be taken holistically. Remember when the president presented, because we often attend these press conferences and we forget quickly. The president, when he restructured his cabinet, he said that some of the arrangements we've got are temporary. Over time, especially when people were raising the issue about Sputla, he said this thing is going to change. We are going probably to have one big state company. Those things must be discussed and approved by the ANC. The ANC in its conference have pronounced on this issue. It's not like we'll be discussing this restructuring of state assets without resolutions. We've got our resolutions. They are there. And we explained that Sputla's matter is temporary. And the long term where we are going is to align. But at the same time, it's probably time that public enterprise, we no longer need it any longer. And therefore, we are in that period. President explained that when he spoke about Sputla and when he delivered his cabinet in terms of the ministers who came in. TD, with regard to powers of ministers and so on, Sputla's powers is something on the table of the president, and he's dealing with that matter all the time because he's dealing with load shedding. So as the need arises, the president will discuss those issues with them. And it was expressed in the NEC, the issue of Sputla and Eskom and all of that. Those views did arise. But the president did respond from the side of government that we are considering that and we are moving in that regard. So we have been comforted as the ANC that matters have been handled at that level. Of course, we emphasize with speed. But with speed for us means doing away with load shedding. Decisively, but scientifically, not touch and go. That has happened. We have dealt with load shedding, and then when other people come, then they realize that no, it's not been dealt with. If Brian and Coco dealt with load shedding, why did we go back? Because they should have dealt with it once and for all. We shouldn't go back. If Sputla and the team at Eskom with Pravin as ministers are working to do away with Eskom, not with Eskom, do away with load shedding, we need to deal with that. We can't relate to people's experiences. We don't fear anyone. I don't want to use that word, fear what. If you've got an experience with a minister, I myself was a minister. I've had my own experiences with different boards. Probably they don't like me. Others used to leak and lie to you about me, especially around PRASA issues. And my pressure at PRASA was to make things happen. And that's why you had to see me there. And I used to tell them when I was minister that I won't even come here, you won't even see my jacket. The problem I come here is because this place is a broken place. And we've got to get things going. And I'm happy that Cindy, because he was my deputy, we went together and all of that. That work now is coming because there is people there who are doing their job. So I think that is the work that we're doing there.